Hi lovelies, welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Temi. So on today's video I decided to share a particular one of the reasons why I might not go back to Turkey. Maybe one of the reasons why I felt Turkey is not for me. Because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for other people, but I'm saying this based on my own observation, right? Yeah, because right now as it is, I know traveling abroad is like an achievement for a lot of people, especially for some of us coming from Africa. Is an achievement, like it's something that everybody look forward to. Okay, I look forward to it too when I had it, and I'm so grateful to God for it, and I'm still looking. So but as it is now, one of the reasons why I think I might not go back to Turkey, that means if I didn't get to go back to Turkey, these are some of the reasons I'll be sharing in this video will be the reasons why I might not go back to Turkey. Anyway, yeah, so without much further ado, let's dive straight into the video. So my number one reason is the fact that I've been to Turkey like 2 times now, and for a very long time my husband has been in Turkey for almost close to 9-10 years before I later go to join him. I don't know if I've mentioned this in one of my videos, but I'm trying to do a recap for people who are coming across my video for the first time. So yeah, so before I later joined him some years back, and yeah, I've been to Turkey like 2 times now. And okay, so I'm a mom, I'm a family person, I have kids. So going to Turkey, I see how the country is, and I felt Turkey might not give me some certain things, some certain benefits that will suit me and will be able to suit me as a family person. So maybe if I'm in Turkey, if I'm in that country, that I can actually, you know, work and at the same time go to school, where my school can actually, where my children too can actually go to, even if it's a public school. You guys know public school abroad is quite different, you know, from, you understand. So where my kids can actually go to affordable school, you know, I myself as their mom, and I can actually get a good job, and also like I can also get to further my education if I wanted to. So I felt Turkey might not give me all that. And the 2 times I traveled abroad, and I felt the reasons, because of some of these things, I might not be able to say, okay, I want to leave my kids behind for that, you know, for that reason. And also I felt like if I'm going to be moving over to Turkey with my family, with my kids, it might be very, very expensive for me, considering if I'm able to meet up with the kind of, the schools I'll be able to get for my kids. Okay, around that time, I think the first time I went to Turkey, myself and my husband, I have a lot of hopes, really. I have a lot of hopes, you know. Yeah, you guys know when you're traveling abroad, everybody has hopes of, you know, doing a lot of things. Okay, which I also have. When I wanted to travel, in fact, I went with my certificate. I went with my, I know I needed it at that time. I need a break in my life. Even my kids knew I need a break. Like, I didn't want to leave them behind, because that was my very first time of leaving my kids, you know, leaving my kids behind, you know, leaving 4 kids back in Nigeria and traveling abroad. You guys know it's a whole lot. That's not a joke, you know. So it was a whole lot for me. But then I knew I needed a break in my life, you know, because all my life it has been me taking care of the kids while my husband is away. So that's one of the things. So when I moved over to Turkey, so I felt like I was looking forward to an opportunity where to see if I can actually bring my kids over there to join my husband and all that. The look of things, with some of the things, with some of the experience I got over there, I felt like their things were very different from where I'm coming from, which is Nigeria. Okay, you know, yeah, like their things are quite different. And one of the things I observe about Turkish people is the fact that you can't get a white collar, even if you have your master's degree there in Turkey, you won't be able to get a white collar job there over there in Turkey. You know, some of their, I know if you have been to Turkey before, or probably you are currently in Turkey and you're watching this video, you will agree with me that some of this some of their white collar jobs, their companies over there, let me say that, like their companies over there, you get to see Turkish people everywhere. So they have their people all over the place. It's just me being honest. Okay, Turkey will not give me some certain things that I wanted, like Turkey will not give me citizenship if I had a baby there in Turkey. There's nothing like that in Turkey. So Turkey will not give me a good job as a parent, or probably give my kids some benefits for, for living in Turkey, unlike other, other European countries. And also I felt like, so at that time when we were checking schools, my husband, we were trying to contemplate whether on bringing our kids over. We were checking schools to see. And also, guys, don't forget, Turkey is not an English speaking country. They speak Turkish. So most times, I mean, you being in Turkey, you have to make your Google Translator your friend, because that's how you get to communicate sometimes. I think I've mentioned that in one of my videos. If you haven't seen them, probably I'm going to link some of those videos, on the, you might be frustrated with this, but trust me, with the help of Google Translator, then that will help you in a way. And also another thing I felt, so at that time when we were checking for school to see if we can actually afford it for our kids, we were checking schools, and the only English speaking school we can actually get was kind of way too expensive for us. And for you guys should agree that for a country that is not speaking, for a country that getting a job is kind of, I'm not saying there's no job in Turkey. There are jobs in Turkey, and I think I share some of those in one of my videos. If you haven't seen it, then I'll link it in the description box for you to go and watch. So there are jobs in Turkey, but some of these jobs might not really be able to, to be enough for somebody like myself who has kids, to cater for, and paying school fees, feeding, and paying bills, internet bills, and every other, every bills, in living in Turkey and all that might not really be enough for me. So if I don't go back to Turkey, I will not go back there, because I just know I meet my kids, my family behind here in Nigeria, like going over there to just go and sit down. And also another thing I will not want to go back is the fact that, based on the fact that if I'm going over to Turkey to probably to go and I just want to, if you want to enroll in one of their universities in Turkey, you'll have to go and do it. I mean, you have to enroll for a Turkish class. Let's say that. I don't know if you guys stand like you have to go to learn how to speak Turkish, like a school, from a class, probably for 3 months or thereabout, yeah, before you can apply for some of their, to study in their schools over there. So that is another thing, and I felt that was not enough to to just leave my kids behind and just go there and and just be. I'm not saying there's no job in Turkey. There's jobs in Turkey, but for me, it might not be enough for me, based on my kids. Even just one kid, not just one child. Okay, and yeah, so it might not just be enough for me. So that is one of the reasons, why I might not. Why I felt Turkey might not really be for somebody like myself. So at this point in my life, I felt, if I'm traveling abroad, if I'm moving abroad at this point in my life, I should be able to move into a country that was going to give my children some benefits, that will even give me my husband, my children, that will be able to enjoy some certain benefits of living in that country. So not just me going abroad and where I'm not getting any benefits and all that, because we all have responsibilities. I have responsibilities, as the first daughter, I have responsibilities, I have younger ones, I have parents. So I needed something that is, that is kind of okay, like something above average that will at least, support us. So that was one of the reasons. So I felt that was the reason Turkey might not be for me. So if you have any question about Turkey, let me know in the comment, drop it for me in the comment section, or you can follow me on my Instagram. Drop me a message or send the question to me on my Instagram. Probably I'm going to be linking my Instagram handle, okay, on this video somewhere, or probably just check around this video either in the description or anywhere, so you can send your question to me on Instagram. So I know I've been this video is actually a long time coming. Really, it's been a long time coming. Like, I want to share this. And also, somebody sent me a message on Instagram sometimes ago, and I've answered the person, so I felt I should put it in video form to be able to address it as well for other people to also learn from. So I'm not saying Turkey is bad. Turkey is a very, very nice country. Turkey is peaceful. I like the vibes in Turkey. Like when I visited, I always like the vibes around. There's this positive energy around me throughout my stay. Like I like the aura, I like the vibes of the country. Everything is peaceful, no stress and all that. So I like that fact. And I like the fact that the country is so beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful country, peaceful, and it's one country that everybody just mind their business. No one has your time. Like everybody's just minding their business and all that. I remember when I was there, I've seen all these older Turkish grandparents. They're almost grandparents, so I wanted to help them with their bags. So I quickly remind myself, in fact, with the way they were looking at me, so I quickly remind myself, Ogbeni, so I could quickly call myself back and maintain, and yeah, I come to the end of today's video because I don't want this video to actually be a long one. So if you guys later see that I didn't get to go back to Turkey, here are some of my reasons why I might not go back to Turkey. Okay, I need a country that I can move to, a country where I can where my kids can get quality education and at affordable rates, where I can also get a good job that can actually, in fact, not just getting a job, but where my kids can actually get to go to school for free. We can actually get free school, where I can actually get a good job. My husband too can also get, where my husband also can get a good job as well, and where our life can just be peaceful and we could save, right? That we could save and see something to send back home. So yeah, so that is the kind of country I'm looking forward to. So I felt Turkey might not really be able to give me all that, so that is why I'm staying back, because as it is, traveling abroad now is way more expensive, flight ticket and everything. So for me, that's not enough. So it doesn't worth it, it doesn't really worth it. So that is why I'm staying back for now. So even if I'm moving to any country right now, that country must be, to free education, where I can also go to school, where I can also get to see affordable school as their mom to also further my education, where my husband can also get a good job, where I can also cater for my parents back home and, perform some of my responsibilities as a daughter, as a daughter-in-law, and whatever. So yeah, so that is one of the things. So yeah, I come to the end of today's video. If you find value in this video, make sure you like this video. Drop me comments. If you have any question, you can also ask me, and also make sure you subscribe to this channel. That's the only way you guys can encourage me to keep doing more. Okay.